Berbice, the Quarantine Coast, and of course all the way to Corriverton and Crabwood Creek, Molson Creek. Welcome to all of you who are joining us on television in that great county of Berbice. Welcome to another program of Issues in the News. To our listeners and viewers who are joining us on Freedom Radio from Rob Street, Georgetown, good evening and welcome to another program of Issues in the News. And last but not least, to all of you, tens of thousands of you who are joining us on Facebook Live right across the length and breadth of Guyana, the Caribbean, North America, Europe, and even further afield. Welcome once again to another program of Issues in the News. And I am looking at the greetings and the comments that are scrolling up on the screen, and there are so many of you. Ravi Singh, Jasmine, they're saying that there's no audio, no sound. I am trying to get that. I'm not, am I getting sound? Sita Shivram, Rajin Datadin, Ravi Narain, Rajendra Mahes, Fazlur Ali, Night Sunil, Suraj Paul Ram Kisoon, welcome. Mike Bikam, Shamu Gir, Devendra Hardayal, welcome to another program. The song is okay now, thank you very much. And please press that share button on your phone, press that share button on your Facebook page so that all your friends and all your followers who are with you on your page, on your account, can join us. I am happy that you're hearing me loud and clear. You see how important it is for us to interact. Mohan Ramnath, Arjun Rajendra Singh from French Guyana, Zahir Khan from Toronto, Lal Singh, Mangal from New York, Mohammed Yassin, Pratima Prasad, Greg Hill, Victor Biancini, Raji Maharaj, Florida, Kewal Sudari, and so many of you. Please press that share button on that phone and let me interact with you. Please make a comment, tell me what you want us to discuss so that we can keep this program as interactive as possible. But I'm so happy that so many of you are here. Rohan Dean, Arjun Rajendra Singh from French Guyana, again Betty Singh, and all of you are now telling me that you're hearing me loud and clear. So thank you, and I'm sorry that I was not with you last week. I was traveling. I had to attend a personal event in New York, and I may be out next week again, unfortunately, on government's business, but that is not clear. But I will be with you as soon as I possibly can and on every possible opportunity that I can. So I'm glad that we are all on board, and let's start the program. So we had our 56th Independence Anniversary celebrations right across Guyana, but most importantly, for the first time, the national celebrations were taken to a region outside of region number 4, and that region was Essequibo. We raised the flag at Anna Regina. The president and the entire cabinet was present, and we had a rollicking time. The people of Essequibo came out in their thousands to show their appreciation for their government and to show their appreciation to the fact that we have graced the great county with independence celebrations for the first time in the history of our country. We plan to take this program and these celebrations right across the length and breadth of our country to every region. Every year we will be doing the celebrations and the official ceremony in a different region. Guyana is made up of 10 administrative regions, And it is really not fair to have the celebrations taking place only in one region. For not one moment must we believe that Guyana is the capital city and the capital city is Guyana. It is not so. Every region is important to us. Every single grouping of our people are important to us, and therefore we must take national celebrations nationally across the length and breadth of our country. And that is what we did in splendor and in glory last week on the Essequibo coast, and we have no regret whatsoever. The President, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, led from the front. The Vice President was there, and the Prime Minister was there, and indeed, almost every member of our cabinet was there. And we went out in the rain. The rain came in torrential showers, but that did not dampen the celebrations, and the celebrations, from all account and from all that I have seen, were very, very overwhelming, and the people were very happy. They stood there for hours and viewed and enjoyed every moment of the celebrations. And when the rains came, they did not move. In fact, long after the ceremony, long after the celebrations were over, they stuck around and they waited for their ministers and for their leaders, and they took hundreds, if not thousands, of photographs with all of us. It was a great occasion, and I look forward to the government taking these celebrations to another region come next year, when we will be celebrating our 57th independence anniversary. So I am happy that, and I am sure that the people of Guyana are happy that we are moving these national events and national celebrations around the country. Today also an important announcement was made by His Excellency the President, where our fisher folks who have been complaining that they are going through hard times recently, well, the government of Guyana has responded, and cash grants are going to be distributed to all the fishermen in our country. We have done so for the sugarcane workers, we have done so for the rice farmers and farmers generally. The Vice President was in Linden, and he made similar announcements in relation to persons in Linden, small businessmen, and also we are going around the country creating jobs, and that's what we promised. We are not a government who told the people that we are not in the business of job creation. We are not the government who told our young people, after promising them jobs, after we got into government, the previous president, Mr. David Granger, said to our young people who are graduating from the university that they should go and sell cook-up rice and plantain chips. We are trying every day to create the opportunities for job creation, and if we can do it on a full-time basis, we are doing it on a part-time basis until we are able to do it on a full-time basis. And we are laying the foundation every single day for those opportunities to become available. Rome was not built in a day. Guyana will not be built in a day. We have a lot of work to do. But what we want to assure you as a government is that every single day we are on the ground, we are in the fields, we are in our offices, we are meeting, we are working to ensure that whatever opportunities are available, we are taking advantage of those opportunities so that they can result in job creation and they can result in benefits that will redound to the people of our country. all the people of our country. When we go to Berbice, they are accusing us of only going to Berbice. Well, we have gone to Linden, we have gone to Essequibo, we are now on the West Coast and we are in Region 4, but you know you cannot please them. You will never be able to please them. So what we have to do is to invite them to come on board, and if they are not prepared to come on board, well then we have to take the country forward without them. Because if you wait on them, you will continue to self-stagnate, you will continue to impose upon yourself unnecessary restraints, unnecessary hurdles that will eventually be disadvantageous to our people and to the developmental agenda of our country. And that is why we are saying that ours is a platform that is open and free for all to come on board. But if you don't wish to come on board, well then we are sorry, but we are not going to hold back progress, and we are not going to allow you to hold progress at ransom. We are not going to entertain your idiosyncrasies. We are not going to entertain your peculiarities. We are not going to operate at your whim and fancy. You have to behave responsibly, and you have to discharge your responsibility with maturity, with decorum, with rectitude, or else we are not going to take you seriously. Guyana is at a stage where we cannot afford to pussyfoot, we cannot afford to waste time, we cannot afford to procrastinate. And anyone who wishes to embark on an agenda of that type, we will not entertain them. We will respect them, but we will politely ask them to move aside as we move the rest of the country forward. That is our approach, and that is how we will approach the construction of this concept of one Guyana. And that brings me to today's appointments of members to the Police Service Commission and the Integrity Commission. Now, perhaps you may not understand the importance of the Police Service Commission. The Police Service Commission is an independent constitutional body that is responsible for the promotion and discipline of police officers, in particular from the rank of inspector coming down. It is a very, very important body, and it is that body that is responsible, as I said, for the promotion, importantly, of officers. The disciplinary functions or disciplinary processes against offending ranks of the force are carried out by the Police Service Commission. This commission has expired for nearly a year. We first didn't have an opposition leader for some time, and then we had an opposition leader, and before that you had an opposition leader who was not prepared to engage the government. I am speaking about Mr. Harman. He was the one who was attempting to disrespect the president and disrespect the government by alleging that we are installed, that we are illegal. Well, you can't make those type of damning, though foolish, allegations against the government and expect that very government to engage you. So he had to have been taught his lesson, and then by the time he got his lessons learned, he was removed as opposition leader, or he relinquished that position, or resigned from the position, whichever phraseology may aptly describe his transition out of the office. And then there was a vacancy in the office, and then Mr. Norton came. Now, all this while, you have hundreds, if not thousands, of policemen who can get promoted. And let me explain to you what happens when a policeman can get promoted. So these police officers, they serve all their life in the force, and it is sometimes the movement from one rank to another, promotionally, is one that is sometimes considered to be very slow, but that's the nature of the organization. When you have no promoting agency, you are now further stagnating the process. And these officers, when they reach a particular age, they have to retire by law. And when they retire, their pensions and gratuity and other benefits, superannuation benefits to which they are entitled, are pegged at their last salary. So when you keep them at a particular rank and they are not promoted, not because they don't deserve promotion, but because you don't have the agency authorized to promote them in place, what happens is that they are forced to retire on terms and conditions very much disadvantageous to them. They could have been retiring at a higher rate of remuneration that would have entitled them to a higher rate of pension. But because there is no police service commission and no possibility of promotion, they are left stagnated in a post to which they may have been qualified to be promoted from. When that happens, an injustice, a miscarriage of justice takes place, and these officers and members of the police force, for the rest of their lives, they are stagnated, and then if they exit the police force by retirement, they exit at a pension that's lower than they would have ordinarily been entitled to had they been promoted. Now, these are persons that the APNU will tell you are their supporters. Whether that is true or not is a different matter. But they have historically claimed that the police force supports them. Now, if these are their supporters, one would expect that every action of theirs would be dedicated, would be intended, and would be designed to ensure that the best interests of their supporters are advanced. Yet when the time has come for the appointment of the Police Service Commission, you have this gerrymandering and procrastinating game being played by Mr. Norton. I'm going to get into that as I get into the program. So I just wanted to make that clear, that you see from Mr. Norton an absence of the appreciation. You see from him the lack of maturity, the lack of an appreciation of the significance of the Police Service Commission to the upward mobility, remuneration, and potentially pension benefits of police officers whom he would tell you are his supporters. That is not how a leader behaves. His reason for not making himself available is that he's busy. Busy doing what? Busy doing what? And I'm going to get into that. But his busyness is more important than advancing the cause of hundreds of police officers whose welfare are affected by a commission that is not appointed. But he doesn't see that. He wants to go on this ego trip that he seems to be on. So let me get into the engagement itself. So under the Constitution provides that the National Assembly shall produce 4 names which the President must appoint as members of the Police Service Commission. And from those 4 names, one the President must consult the leader of the opposition on for the appointment as a chairperson of that commission. Let me go slowly. The 4 names are names that are produced by the Parliament. The Parliament, in a committee in the Parliament, they interrogate and they begin a process that produces 4 names. The leader of the opposition nor the President choose those names. The Parliament produces them. The leader of the opposition and the President are to consult only in relation to the chairman. So I hope that is clear. For the Integrity Commission now, you have 5 members, 5 to 7 members, and the President must consult the leader of the opposition on the 5 names. So the Constitution, and I'm going to read it, defines or guides us to what consultation means. Let me make it clear that consultation does not mean agreement. It means that the President must consult with the leader of the opposition. The leader of the opposition does not have to agree to the names, as opposed to the position of Chancellor and Chief Justice, where the Constitution specifically speaks to an agreement between the leader of the opposition and the President. For these commissions, consultation is what is required. Mr. Norton doesn't seem to understand what consultation connotes, and it is defined by the Constitution. So let me go straight to the Constitution and read what consultation means quickly so that we are on the same page. Consultation for the purpose of the Constitution means quickly. 232. Consultation or meaningful consultation means the person or entity responsible or seeking consultation shall, the person or entity responsible or seeking consultation, in this case it's the President, he is the person responsible, and he shall, 1, identify the persons or entities to be consulted and specify to them in writing the subject of the consultation and the intended date for the decision on the subject of the consultation. So the President must first identify the persons or entities to be consulted. In this case, the entity to be consulted is the leader of the opposition. And specify to the leader of the opposition in writing the subject of the consultation, that meaning what you're consulting about, and an intended date for the decision on the subject of the consultation. Secondly, the President must ensure that each person or entity to be consulted, again is the leader of the opposition alone we are dealing with, is afforded a reasonable opportunity to express a considered opinion on the subject of the consultation, and cause to be prepared and archived the written record of the consultation and circulate the decision to each of the persons or entities consulted. Here, it's only the leader of the opposition. So what did we do? So that's what consultation means. So we identified Mr. Norton as the entity to be consulted. We wrote to Mr. Norton informing him that the consultation process has commenced. We gave to him, he then wrote, he wants to know the names of the entities that will be consulted in relation to. Those entities were listed and produced to him. And he said he also wanted the names of the persons who are the subject of the consultations, meaning the persons to be appointed to the various commissions. That was done. He wrote back and he says he wants more information, that the information provided is bereft of details. Well, we are required to give him the names of the commissions that we are consulting about and the names of the nominees who are going to be the subject of the consultations. Those were provided. Yet he says that the letter doesn't have any details. We wrote him back and we said, well, tell us what more details you want. He never wrote a response to that inquiry. By that time, there was an in-person meeting. At the in-person meeting, the president asked him, so what other information you want? We have given you the names of the organizations that we are consulting in relation to, and we're giving you the names to be appointed to those organizations. What other things you want? He said he wants the CVs. We said, look, in relation to the Police Service Commission, all the CVs were given to the Parliament. The Parliament unanimously approved these names. You are part of the parliamentary process. Your party is a part of the parliamentary process. So how come you don't have these CVs? They were all submitted to the Parliament. He says he still wants them. So 40 names were consulted upon. That we met on Friday and we said to him, you will get the 14 CVs by Monday. By Monday at 9 a.m., he got all the CVs that he requested. All. Then we had the AgriFest investment event, where 8 heads of state were here and over 400 international delegates from around the world were here. Then we had independence celebrations following that very closely. So we couldn't meet during that period. He was invited Friday to a meeting Monday. He never called. He never sent a note to say that he's not coming. In the letter inviting him to the meeting, we said that in the event that you cannot come, please send us anything you wish to send us in writing in relation to the consultation process. He ignored that opportunity. The meeting was fixed Monday, yesterday at 2 p.m. At 2:15, he sent a long insulting letter to the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, accusing her of all sorts of wrongdoings, not worthy of mentioning here. And he said that he's busy. Well, I have never seen. I have worked with President Ramotar. I have worked with leader of the opposition, President Ramotar, and when he was interacting with leader of the opposition, David Granger. I've worked with leader of the opposition, Bharat Jagdeo, when he was interacting with President David Granger. I am now working with President Ali as he's interacting with leader of the opposition, Norton. And I've never seen this level of behavior. Never, honestly. So, Mr. Norton decides that he will not turn up. He will not call. He will not send a message. He offers no reason except that he's busy, and he doesn't, something to the effect that he doesn't operate at the whim and fancy of the president, and he does decide that he will not turn up. Well, we have complied with the constitutional narrative. I have just outlined it to you so that you heard me explain the various elements, and we have complied with them. in their letter and spirit. The other thing that Mr. Norton doesn't seem to understand is that the president is responsible, as I said, for this consultation. And let me read again. The person or entity responsible for seeking the consultation shall, so the person responsible for the consultation, that here in this case is the president. The president runs the show, not Mr. Norton. Mr. Norton doesn't seem to understand that. So in the middle of these consultations, and we've listed what we are consulting about: Integrity Commission, Police Service Commission, Teaching Service Commission, Judicial Service Commission. Those are the 4 commissions that we are consulting about. The president has carefully carved out the parameters of these consultations, as he is empowered to do by the Constitution. He determined what he will consult upon or in relation to, and he submits his nominees. Mr. Norton has this thing completely confused. He believes that he is to direct the consultative process. And I don't know what type of legal advice he's receiving, because that is not what the Constitution provides for, and that is not what it contemplates. So Mr. Norton decides in this consultation process, where JSC is the entity, Integrity Commission is the entity, Police Service Commission is the entity, and Teaching Service Commission is the entity. These are the 4 entities that this consultation delineated. He is now bringing in Chancellor and Chief Justice and is indicating that he is ready to consult in relation to Chancellor and Chief Justice. It doesn't work like that. The president will determine whom he wishes to consult in relation to, or in relation to what institution he wishes to consult on, not Mr. Norton. And the Chancellor and the Chief Justice, as important as those 2 offices are, they simply did not form part and are not part of this consultative process. And Mr. Norton cannot arrogate unto himself a power to determine that he will introduce into the consultative equation a new and foreign element. That will not be tolerated. That is wrong, and it is disrespectful. And it is ultra vires, the current 4 corners of this consultative exercise. So, Mr. Norton, it is clear that he is way over his head when it comes to this role as leader of the opposition. I get the clear impression that Mr. Norton has not yet come to grips with the importance of the office. He is still wallowing. He is still wallowing in, I suppose, the trappings of the office and the importance that the office has conferred upon him. I don't think he has gotten accustomed to the environment, and certainly he's not prepared from his own actions to discharge the functions of that high office in the manner contemplated by the Constitution. And we cannot wait. Judges have to be appointed, teachers have to be promoted, police, important decisions have to be made by the police service commissions. We cannot allow Mr. Norton to ridicule this process and reduce it to one of his egocentricities that he seemed to be engaged in the public domain. I heard him saying that he will deal with the president. Who speaks of and about a president like that? This guy is completely out of his depth, completely out of his depth. We have made the decision, the persons have been sworn in, and I wish to respectfully assure the people of our country that the letter and spirit of our Constitution was complied with, and the persons who were sworn in today were lawfully appointed and properly sworn in. It's a matter for the President when the next set of swearing in will take place. But I have no doubt that the Constitution has been complied with and will be complied with in relation to future appointments. No one will hold our government at ransom and try to bully like a bull in a china shop and behave in any way that is contumacious and contemptuous, either of our government or the important constitutional processes. That will not be tolerated. So I want to take a few moments and look at your calls, look at your comments, as we continue this important discourse. So Lionel Ramraju, I want to get your views, please, so that we can continue this discussion. Gayatri Singh is saying, you're right, don't take bullying. We are not going to take bullying. What is the story of the Mace thief? Well, that matter is in court. As you know, I've been briefing you over and over again. As Attorney General, you should pick up on threatening the President. You see, I understand that persons may construe what Mr. Norton said as a threat. It's better I don't say much about that. But let me don't say anything about that. But it's simply disrespectful and unbecoming of the leader of the opposition. Nishad, what other areas are needed for consultation with the leader of the opposition? And where do you think, where do you go if Norton is unwilling to meet? If Mr. Norton is on, every effort will continue to be made to engage Mr. Norton in compliance with the Constitution. Wherever Mr. Norton is unwilling to engage, the process will be proceeded with in accordance with the Constitution. The Constitution nor the law will ever contemplate a situation where the entire rule of law will be held to ransom because you have a recalcitrant and delinquent leader of the opposition who refuses to consult. It cannot mean, it can never be that important appointments cannot be made because one person who is the subject of consultation and who is to participate in the consultation unreasonably refuses to discharge his constitutional role. The Constitution itself will not be compromised. The Constitution itself will not be sabotaged in that way. If that is how the law is, then anytime a person wants to create havoc and to cause a breakdown of the rule of law, then he or she will refuse to play his role in a particular legal process if that will result in the legal process not taking place. That can't be. The law will never allow a person to take advantage of his or her wrongdoing and benefit from his or her wrongdoing. So that will not happen. So I think that I'll move on from this. I've said enough, and I wanted to deal a little with the new Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Amendment Bill that we are taking to the National Assembly. Now, I have said that it is incumbent upon a government, and indeed the parliament of a country, to make laws that are required for the particular society in which the law is expected to operate as a regulatory agency. The law is not alien to the citizens. The law must be part and parcel of the cultural and other evolutionary stages taking place in a country. In other words, the law is part of society itself. The law must therefore capture the aspirations, the goals, the ideals of the people. The law must also be able to address the mischiefs, the deficiencies, the ills, the wrongs of any society. Or else the law will lose its efficacy as the most important regulator of human affairs in any given society. That is the role of the law. So we have in Guyana a serious problem in terms of road traffic accidents. Every given year, hundreds of our citizens are dying on the road. Every single year, hundreds of our young people are dying senselessly on the road. Every year, dozens or more than 50% of these accidents, road accidents, are caused by drunken driving. In the face of such slaughter, in the face of such carnage, a government can't remain idle. A society can't remain idle. A parliament can't remain dormant and silent when the people of the country in which that parliament is operating as the premier law-making institution are being slaughtered on the road by reckless, careless, and drunken drivers. We can't. And this requires not only a legal change, this requires a cultural change. We have to start somewhere. And I believe the best place to start is the law. The cultural change, the social change, the new dispensation that will necessarily have to evolve will come. But we have to begin somewhere. And these amendments are intended to strengthen our laws, our road traffic laws, targeting particularly drunken driving. It creates a new offense of motor manslaughter, wherever a person who is drunk, either under the influence of drink or drugs, and there's a definition of what drunk is, and if such a person is incapable of having proper control of a motor vehicle and causes death to another, then that person shall be guilty of the offense of motor manslaughter and shall be sentenced to a term of imprisonment of not less than 10 years. This is necessary. It is harsh, it is oppressive, it is intended to be that. It is intended. If you use your vehicles while you are in a drunken state, like a lethal weapon, and you kill, it is akin to manslaughter. It's as if you're drunk and you shoot. The gun is like your motor vehicle when you are drunk. You're using it as a weapon. In that case, 10 years is the offense. Motor manslaughter, is the offense. 10 years is the imprisonment. If in that state you cause grievous bodily harm, so you don't kill, but you're drunk you drive, you're incapable of driving, and you cause grievous bodily harm to a person, the imprisonment is 5 years, not less than 5 years. Not less than 10 if you kill, not less than 5 if you cause grievous bodily harm. These are minimal and minimum sentences. A magistrate or a judge, as the case may be, can sentence you more, but this is the minimum. If you are convicted, for an offense under these sections, then your license will be taken away for a period of 3 years. So if you are convicted, your license, you will be disqualified for a period of 3 years from holding or obtaining a driver license, and time shall begin to run from the time you are released from prison. So while you are serving a 5-year or a 10-year, time will not run. It's when you are released from the prison. Then the 3-year disqualification will begin to run. If you have another conviction for the same offense, then you will be permanently disqualified. You will not drive again. You will not be the holder of a license ever. Or if you were a holder of a license, you will be permanently disqualified. Now, if you are charged with any of these offenses, or you are charged for driving while under the influence of alcohol, so if you are charged with hitting somebody and causing them grievous bodily harm, if you're charged for killing somebody while you're under the influence, or if you're charged for driving under the influence but without making an accident, then your license may be suspended while the case is ongoing. May be suspended from the time you are charged. You don't have to wait on conviction. The magistrate may, depending upon the seriousness of the case, may suspend you while the case is ongoing. And that is if you are charged for a second time, If you are charged for a second time. If you are charged for a third time, then your license shall be suspended. Your license shall be suspended. And once you are convicted, well, then your license will be taken away. Your license will be taken away upon conviction. And of course, the fines now, we have drastically increased the fines. From 10 and 20,000, it gone to 200,000 and 250,000, etc. We have also inserted in the law a provision that obliges the police officer to ensure that the instrument that will be used for the breathalyzer test to be properly calibrated and be in working condition before he administers that test. Many persons were able to get off because the breathalyzing instrument was not properly calibrated or was not functioning in the manner in which it should function. That, we are putting it in the law, that these things must be kept in working order, must always be fully calibrated, and the officer must ensure that it is in such a condition before he administers a test. The other component of the law quickly deals with intoxicating liquor license. Now, the rum shops or the licensed premises are the places where the alcohol is being sold. And we have defined again what a drunken person is. And we are imposing now obligations on these license holders. They must not permit drunkenness or violent or quarrelsome or riotous conduct in their premises. They must not sell, give, barter liquor to an intoxicating liquor to a drunken person. And a drunken person again is defined. They must not sell, give, or barter intoxicating liquor to a person whom he believes is likely to leave the premises by driving, unless that person has identified another person to be the designated driver of the motor vehicle. So if you are going to sell to a person whom you believe is likely to leave by driving, you cannot sell that person unless that person identifies a person who shall be the designated driver. Where the bar owner knows that a drunken person is attempting to drive or is in charge of a motor vehicle, and is going to drive on a road or in a public place, that bar owner must inform the nearest police station and request their immediate assistance. They must also ensure that announcements are made at the premises at regular intervals that persons should not drink and drive. And also, conspicuous signs must be installed at the licensed premises warning against drunk driving. Now, and there are some other provisions which I don't have enough time to go into, but I'll be speaking about them more and more. These bills are very, very crucial. They will change the laws of our country. They are going to bring a cultural change in our society, which I believe is much needed. Too many of our young people are being maimed, are being seriously injured, and or are being killed. And we simply cannot continue like this. We are currently receiving inviting views and recommendations on these amendments. You can go to my ministry's website and submit. You can get a copy of these bills and you can put your submissions in writing. There's a statement there that advises you what to do. It's also published in the newspapers. But we are inviting your views. This is a very crucial piece of law reform, and we would like to get the widest possible input into it. So please ensure that you are part of this public consultation process. You can write a letter, you can send your email. The email addresses and so on have been published in the press. Your views are important. I'm going to do more television programs trying to explain the ramifications of this law, but I can tell you that it is serious. Many persons have asked me, how are we going to enforce this law? It's going to be difficult to enforce, in particular as it relates to the bar owners. Yes, it's going to be difficult to enforce. It's not an easy task, but we have to start somewhere. Every great journey begins with a single step. We simply can't hold our hands up in the air and do nothing while the slaughter and carnage continue on the roadways of our country. A responsible government must act. So we have come to the end of this program, and I should make it clear also that we already have DUI offenses in our law. We already have them, and we are now strengthening them. We are making them stronger, we are expanding them, and we are extending them to now capture within the net the sellers of alcohol beverages, because they are part and parcel of the problem. And we may expand it further to deal with events outside of a licensed premises. a barbecue, a fair, a dance, because alcohol beverages are sold there too. And persons leave those um, entertainment spots in an intoxicated state and cause the same type of damage to which I am making reference. So I thought that I would share some elements of those proposed bills with you. We are still in the consultative stage, and therefore it is open to you to make your contribution, ensure that your contribution is received by us. It will be taken on board, but from the feedback that we have gotten so far, the support for this law is overwhelming. I must say that to you at this very preliminary and perhaps premature stage. But from all indications, the proposed amendments to the law are being well supported. Persons even want more draconian measures. But I believe that this is a good start and we can develop upon it as we go on. I want to thank you very much for being part of this program tonight. I think we have covered great grounds, and I believe that we have discussed some very important issues. I hope that I have provided some clarity to you and some guidance where you may need guidance on some of the issues that we have discussed tonight. I want to thank you and invite you to join me on our next program as we continue discussing important issues in the news. Please enjoy the rest of the evening and stay safe and have a great week. Thank you very much. Until I see you again. Thank you.